Now, chapter Yud in the Maamar Vata Titzave, which originally was set in 1981 and then it was released in 1992. So we're on chapter 10, and in the previous chapter, the Rebbe explained at great length how one is Kosis, one feels broken-hearted that Mashiach is not here, and therefore it's not just for those that are, the average and ordinary Jewish person, but even tzaddikim and holy people who are fully involved in Judaism and in Torah study. Nevertheless, the fact that Mashiach is not here shatters them. This is what we learned in the previous paragraph. Now let's continue the chapter 10, paragraph 10. We might say, this experience of the soul called the Maamar, the illuminary, the Kosis, that's revealed through the feeling of brokenheartedness, Galus, from the fact that we find ourselves in exile. Hinailis Yeser is greater Mibchinas Hamor Daneshama than the level of the illuminary of the soul, Galus, that's revealed Ayedei Mesiras Nefesh. That's revealed through self-sacrifice. We have been, throughout the Maamar, we've been pushing and explaining the point that self-sacrifice that the Jews had during the time of Purim, that's called Mesiras Nefesh, self-sacrifice, is the barometer that shows that you really are touched and you really care. Now the Rebbe says that's true. However, based on what we learned just before, there's something even deeper that touches a person deeper. And that is the feeling of being shattered, Kosis. And let's see how he explains it. Meaning, you'll see in a second, meaning that even if you're not having self-sacrifice, but you come to a place of being Kosis, that touches you greater. Let's see how he explains this. The idea is, why, amongst the reasons why do the sages say that when the Torah was given by Moshe, it was only a beginning? Skipped Hechelu Lasis, it's only a beginning. And during the days of Achashverosh, we say that was the true Kabbalah we received. The Kibbalah Yehudim, who it is, the fact that they prefaced Nasiv the Nishma, that we will do. The Jewish people, Brad, they said, we will accept upon ourselves everything you say, God, in the Torah. And then we will explore the reasoning behind it. This is because it says in the Midrash, it's because God placed a mountain on top of the people's heads, the Jewish people's heads. It's like, you better accept the Torah or else. That's what it says in Midrash. I mean, there's many ways of understanding that Midrash, but that's a basic in Midrash. Which means, Gilui Milamayla, Hillel. The way Chasidus understands the Kofa Aleim Harke Gigos means God imposed godliness on the Jews. Mm-hmm. The inspiration didn't come because, from their perspective, they didn't generate the excitement, but rather it came from outside of them to them. But during the days of Purim, this changed. The Jews accepted the Torah during the time of Purim not feeling as though they're forced into it, but rather they themselves wanted to do it. So that's a major difference between the receiving of the Torah when the Torah was given by Moses on Mount Sinai, at Har Sinai, and the way the Torah was given when we wanted the Torah, and we asked for the Torah during the time of Purim. So we could say, Shehamuna di Yisro, mitzad zeh sh'haneshama shel hamayla, roya leikus. You remember earlier in the Maamar Hillel we discussed two ideas of faith. Faith that comes because one sees God, and faith that comes because one is God, kind of. The neshama is godliness. That's the difference between re'iyah, seeing, and etzem, essence. So the Rebbe goes back to that here, and he connects it to the concept that he's speaking about over here. And he says, the faith that Yidden have, that's considered seeing God, roe elikus, and he says in the parentheses, we call that emunah shemitzad siba. It's a faith that's caused by a reasoning. You follow? There's a reason why you have the faith. Who al derech, this would be similar. Shehiddimu nasa l'nishma b'matan Torah. It's similar to the idea of the Jews prefacing, we will do, and then we will understand during the giving of the Torah, mitzad hagilu d'lamayla, because it was imposed upon them. In other words, we speak about bread, the great thing that Jews did when they got the Torah. They said, we're going to do what you want, Hashem, even though we don't understand yet everything. So the Rebbe says, that's wonderful, but there's only one issue here. They did that because God imposed himself on them. So they were overwhelmed, they were kind of forced into listening. They felt overwhelmed, they felt imposed upon. Right? So this is similar to having a faith experience caused by something. Not that the faith is who you are in your very essence. The faith that you are in your very essence is a very different experience. And this is the virtue that we speak about when we say that during the days of Achashverosh, the Jewish people's acceptance of the Torah was mitzad atzman, from their own perspective. What's the advantage? Who? Then was revealed the connection to godliness from the essence of their soul. The binding, the connection that comes from the very existence of who they are. The Rebbe says more in detail, we might say, that even within the essence of the soul, there are two aspects. You could say there are the two aspects that we mentioned earlier. One would be the essence of the soul from the perspective of Mesiras Nefesh. We might say. From one perspective, you could say that when you have the essence experiencing itself, it's great, but the way the revealed powers receive the essence, it's like an imposition on it. And he gives a good example. Look at this example. We see with many people. Listen to this show. This is very important. When they were in countries where there was a decree against doing Torah mitzvahs. He's speaking namely about Russia, Iran, places like that. More recently, Russia. Says the Rebbe, we see that these people, they had self-sacrifice in actuality. It wasn't theoretical, it was practical and real. And they had Mesiras Nefesh Meshech Kama V'Kama Shonim. For many years, these Jews fought Stalin, put on tefillin, taught children a cheder, went to the underground, ran away. And later, when they came to countries like America and Eretz Yisrael, where you could serve Hashem and do Torah mitzvahs, mitoich harchava, from a broad perspective, no one is killing you, and no one's threatening you. You can go to shul, you can learn, you can go to Beis Medrash, you can do mitzvahs, you can walk around freely. Ein nikir bahem, nevertheless, it's not recognizable in these same people. Kol kacha Mesiras Nefesh, they're great. So it's not recognizable so much. Their self-sacrifice that they had previously. Why? Now that's the question, Hillel. Why? If you were willing, Brad, to give your life in Russia because they said you're a Jew, and if not, we're going to kill you and all that, and you said, I don't care, kill me, I'm not scared, I'm going to continue. And you were willing to have that self-sacrifice. Nevertheless, when they came to the free country, they chilled out. They didn't show the same self-sacrifice. Why is that? So the Rebbe explains why. The fact that they withstood the oppression and they had self-sacrifice for many years, it's because it was superimposed upon them. Guess what? Their seichel and their midos, from their perspective, didn't change. You hear this, Hillel? It's a wild thought.
Yeah.
I mean, a person is ready to get himself shot and just to spread Yiddishkeit. I'm ready. I'm doing whatever it is. And what do you say? It's wonderful, but it's not who you are. It's only what you're being imposed upon. This is what he says.
Well, it's impossible. It sounds like it's saying it's impossible to know what really comes from inside of who you really are because of the external circumstances.
That's right. Pressure. No, but Hillel, what he's saying is, in the external circumstances shows that it's not you. If it would be you, then why would you chill out when you came to a free country? Yeah. So right. that shows that you are able to know. So what do you mean? Why do you say you're not able to know? Hillel.
Are you asking another question?
I'm asking you. Did I understand you correctly that you said it's impossible to know?
Yeah, you can't. Well, I hear what I said is you can't really know because the external circumstances have constrained your choices. So, and you've made one kind of choice. I'm going to stand up for Yiddishkeit, right? So that's already Giborim. Those are already the people who haven't sort of said, well, I'm going to give it all up and comply with the authorities.
Yes, but
right?
Yeah, but
then that soul doesn't really know, doesn't have the opportunity to really know itself until it gets an opportunity to be in a situation where it's not threatened. There's no Mesiras Nefesh to see. Well, then are you really gonna serve Hashem? Continuing to be when you live in a free society when that pressure is off.
Okay. So at that time, the proof is in the pudding. At that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So at that time, it then you really see if what you did is because of yourself or because of an outside force imposing it on you in a great way, but it's not you. That's the point he's making. Yeah. Let's continue. Skip the okay. Let's read it. דזה שעצם הנשמה הוא העצם וכוח הגלויים הוא שעצם הנשמה הוא העצם שלהם It's a very profound thought here. I'll just make it brief. There is Hillel, the etzem, the essence, and there is the format, tziur. So he says, the question is whether your nitty-gritty type of mind and your nitty-gritty type of heart, is it turned on to God or no? It itself is distant. It's only outside forces that make a situation happen. So that's what he calls the tziyur. The tziyur basically means who you are. In other words, every one of us is born a certain way. Every one of us is raised a certain way. Every one of us is who we are at the end of the day. And the question is what we're doing because this is who we are, whether it's biological or adopted, and now this is who we became because it's second nature, or no, who you are is someone else, and what you're doing is only because of an outside stimuli. Brad, did you understand what I just said? I can't hear you.
You said, say it again, please.
The question that we're analyzing here is what a person is doing now. Whatever a person is doing, is it because this is who he really is? This is the person, or is it no? The person is someone else, and why am I doing it? Because of reasons, other reasons, whether it be practical reasons, community reasons, family reasons. Okay, so let's take an example. I put tefillin on in the morning. Do I put tefillin on because just like I know that if I don't eat for a few days, I'm finished, or I'll be very sick, I'll be tired, know that. And if I don't sleep, so my sleep and my eating is who I am. So too, my putting on tefillin is who I am. I can't survive a day without putting on tefillin. Or no, I could survive without putting on tefillin today. Just, I understand the importance of tefillin, and I want to make my parents happy. I want to make my rabbi happy. I want my kids to see whatever. I'm scared, and I believe that if I put tefillin on, I'll be protected. These are all reasons, but it doesn't mean it's not you. It's outside of you. Am I clear on what I'm saying, Brad?
Yes.
So the Maamar here, what we're learning is that when we see people who were willing to give their life, literally in Russia, under Stalin's regime, and they said we're going to continue being Jewish and living Jewish and teaching Jewish. And the very same people came to America and came to England and came to Australia and came to Eretz Yisrael, where no longer there is oppression and you're free to practice your religion. And all of a sudden the same people take it easy. They're not as excited. What happened to them? So the Rebbe's, right? If you were willing to sacrifice your life under Stalin's regime, what happened that you dropped out when you came to a free country? And if you didn't drop out completely, but your passion is not there, why? Says the Rebbe here in this discourse, the reason is because it was never who you were, even when you were oppressed. The only reason you did it then is because you were a patriarch. You're doing it for your country. You're doing it for Hashem. You're doing it for your Torah. You're doing it for your parents. You're doing it for your religion. That's a reason. You're not doing it because this is who you are. Survival of the fittest. Hillel, you follow the point?
I am with you.
So this is a very, very, this is really going deep inside us and asking ourselves to re-examine and to understand This is not being said to make us feel bad. And by the way, it's not made to say, oh, so if I don't have the same feeling in a free country, therefore I should not put on tefillin. No, God forbid. He says, put on tefillin. You have to continue doing your things. However, just remember you need to grow. Good morning, Reb Ari, and your friend from North Carolina. Who's that?
Yes, Dr. Bradley Hammer's here with us.
Dr. Bradley Hammer, Shalom Aleichem. Are you a new resident or just visiting?
Right now, just visiting. My daughter's doing some money.
But they may not be letting him out anytime soon.
Okay. Anyway, what we're discussing, fellas, is a very important issue, and it's an issue that's gonna, it's like you're coming into like a heavy issue. The heavy issue, Ari, is whether a person's Yiddishkeit, a person's commitment to Torah, is it who they are, or is it because of their circumstances?
Big difference.
Like, for example, living in Eretz Yisrael, I've come to the conclusion, and probably some of you have come to the conclusion too, that to really live in Eretz Yisrael, you have to be willing to give up everything. At the end of the day, it's not an easy place to live in. The Gemara says, it's a Gemara. I'm not, 2,000 years ago, the rabbis already said it. Eretz Yisrael is only acquired through Yisurim. You know what Yisurim are?
Yeah, we do.
Torture, pain. Don't kid yourself. You're not getting your elaborate house in North Carolina. And you're not getting your nice house in Toronto. And you're not getting your 2-3 cars. And you're not getting... Yes, you have Yidden all over. It's beautiful. But the Eretz Yisrael, you have to appreciate and really want to live there. And we see those people that came because of outside reasons, it lasts for a while, and many times it ends. They go back. Or even if they're there, they feel very disappointed. Like I told you, the Rebbe told several people, rabbis who retired, and they said, "Oh, Rebbe, we want to go to Eretz Yisrael. We want to make a difference. We've worked so many years in America. Now we're going to go to Yerushalayim." The Rebbe said, "Why are you going? A, B, you're going to Yerushalayim. Who needs you in Yerushalayim? There's for every person, there's 10 rabbis. If you tell them you're going to Tel Aviv, or you're going to a kibbutz, or you're going to Beersheba, you're going out to the boondocks, and there you're going to teach Torah, and there you're going to be a light onto the nations, there you're going to make a difference." Okay, even then we have to ask the question, where are you more needed? A person must go where they're needed. If they don't go where they're needed, they're going to feel wasted and empty. So why am I saying this? What I'm saying is that the Maamar here that we're learning, the Rebbe is exploring this exact nekudah, this exact point. And he asks Ari a beautiful question. Not asks, he makes a point. He says, we see people had self-sacrifice in Russia under Stalin. They were willing to jump into the fire. And then you find that these very same people that came to America, they came to Toronto, they came to Eretz Yisrael, guess what? They're chilling out. They're going to the beach. They're going golfing. They're becoming sophisticated. They get up late to come to shul. On and on and on. What's going on over here? If they were passionate about God, and they were so passionate that they were willing to let themselves be slaughtered and shot, how is it that all of a sudden when they come to a free country, they take it easy? And the Rebbe says, you know why? That proves that even when they were under the oppression in Russia, they weren't doing it because they wanted to do it, but because it was imposed upon them. And this is a very, very deep point to think about as we serve Hashem. Is our service coming from within us? Or is it because I want to keep my family together? Or I want to keep my kids to see? Yes, Hillel.
I want to make the point that, when we tell each other stories about like spiritual heroism, we often tell stories about the people back there who were in a situation where they didn't have the cultural freedom to practice Yiddishkeit, and they nonetheless kept it up under oppressive circumstances. L'chora, we should be saying, based on what we're learning, the true heroes are people who are able to turn their back in a free society on the freedom and on the affluenza of it, and being able to say, like we said earlier in the Maamar, I don't want this. I don't want the house. What I want you is you, God.
Right, and you're 100% right. You are. That's exactly what we're saying. Now, it doesn't mean we should, discontinue talking about the heroism of the past, but that's the past. The question is, who are you now? Who are you now? And it's those people and it's those parts of ourselves that who keep the same rigorous commitment wherever they are, regardless. That's you. I gave you that example before. To me, I just think it's a simple example. If you don't eat, you don't sleep, you're not a mensch. You feel tired. You feel you're a mess. Why? Because that's who you are. Because you need to eat, need to sleep. Well, the same is true with Judaism. The same is to do with Torah. In other words, I get up in the morning and I come to shul and I come to kollel and I go and help someone, a patient, and I do chesed and I give tzedakah, not because someone tells me to do it, because I want to do it, because this is who I am. That's what we're striving for. Yes.
Just tell a little anecdote related to that. When I was first becoming religious and moved to the religious community in Baltimore, my mother, who grew up in a Hasidic home and kind of left it, she said to me, I don't need to do everything that you're doing in order to feel Jewish. And I said to her, and that's the actual point, I do. Because I could have been, I could as easily have been a Buddhist, as easily have been, involved in something else. All of those paths and options were there available in my social milieu amongst my contemporaries. But if I want there to be a continuity of Judaism, if I want there to be a hemshech, I have to be doing something. I have to be engaged. I have to turn away from the path of secular openness and materialism.
Right. Let's continue. Let's continue inside.
For all the benefits of that.
Hillel, show Ari where we're holding. Vagilui and what's your friend's name? Your first name?
Brad. What's your name? Benjamin. Oh, Benjamin, like me. I'm Ari Benjamin, and we got Benjamin Hammer.
Okay, Benjamin. Vagilui de'etzem haneshama bezeh shu nishba v'nitke. The revelation of the soul's essence. Because we are shattered and broken-hearted for the fact that we are in exile, it's that all those parts of you, your mind and your heart and your external parts, are all tuned in. We have to get our mind and heart tuned in. In other words, Benjamin, you're a physician. When you're there with a patient, somehow you're working on the patient, helping the patient expresses somehow to you your essence. That's the experience you're looking for. Not just because you studied in a medical journal, you were taught by your professors, and you know you're doing good. That's all nice things and important things. Because if you don't have that, you better not be, you can't cure someone else. Right? So you have to have the knowledge, no question about it. But at the end of the day, do you believe, have you come to a point where you know that what you're doing is is God's will, because and not, it's your will. It's become who you are. You understand that is a lifelong service. This is not like something you buy in a candy store and you can have it every day. This goes back and forth. What we're saying is, ultimately, a person wants to secure their commitment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in whatever they do in a way that is who they are. And that's why when we are in a free society and we're lacking that, it really bothers us. So like Hillel said, the real heroism is, here I am in Eretz Yisrael, here I am in America, here I am, right? Do I feel that? Do I feel like, am I hungry? Am I hungry for Torah? Am I hungry for mitzvahs? Am I hungry to help another yid, to help another person? Am I hungry? And I can't sit still like Avram on the third day of his circumcision. He was in such pain, but he went outside to feed someone. You know why? Because he was in greater pain from not being able to do achnos hazarach and feeding someone. But yesh loymar, and we could say, the zeh etzem haneshama v'hatzir. I'll explain in a moment. The Rebbe says the following. There is the experience of the essence versus its extension. In other words, who I am versus what I do. And Ari, what he says here is, ultimately, the ultimate experience is when what you do and who you are one and the same. So in other words, in what you do, you could say, oh, that's Ari Pfeffer.
It's the expression of your essence.
Yes, exactly. And in that expression, I see the person. I'm able to identify the person from his expression. Right, let's continue.
Probably, Brad would probably say the way I dance. He would say that's Ari Pfeffer.
Okay, well, I'm Purim. Make a YouTube of you how you dance, and if it's in a kosher way, send it out, and we'll and have others outside of you give feedback if they can tell that it's Ari Pfeffer. In other words, somehow dress up, don't let anyone see it's you, and we'll see this person dancing, and if it's really you, we'll be able to say, this is Ari Pfeffer. So anyone who knows you from anywhere in the world will be able to say, this is Ari. Anyway. Well, based on this, we could say, the Bchinas Hamoed on the Shoma, Shem is Galus, Idea Mesiras Nefesh, who etzem on the Shoma, Kumeshi Mugderes, B'nyan Pshita Shalamayim Tziyar Kosis. Oh, this is getting very, very technical. Bchinas Hamoed on the Shoma, Shem is Galus, they in the Kosis Mdeshim of Galus. The Rebbe is saying that there's two experiences of Kosis. Remember, the discourse is on the verse Vata Titzave, last week's Parsha, the idea of Kosis. Right? That the oil that we used should be, for the menorah, should be, first drop should be very, very refined. So the olives have to be crushed very well. The Rebbe says there is one type of crushing, of being shattered, Brad, when you feel like you're put up to the wall by someone else. Someone says, listen, you better do this or you better go there, otherwise it's not going to be good for you. So your back is up against the wall. Then there's another experience. No one says to you, you must do this, and no one is going to, hurt you, God forbid. You're a free man. And nevertheless, the fact that we have galut, we have exile, we have problems, we have that we're not Mashiach is not here, and was we have the Shekhinah, the divine presence is lacking. That bothers us. I always point out at a wedding, which is the pinnacle of joy for the couple, for the parents, for the friends. It's such, right? Under the chuppah, we break a glass. It's such a powerful, on one hand you could say it's so depressing. To me, it's not depressing. It brings out the reality of what we're learning here. And that is that until it becomes who you are, we are in a situation where we need to do more. Until Mashiach comes, then the chuppah is not 100%. That's right. Don't kid yourself. Now, of course, you have to be happy. It's a very happy time during that night. So the rest of the night and the rest of the chuppah is all about simcha. But the reminder is, so the Galus. So this is why what he's saying here, Hillel, is that the Kosis experience that comes from the Galus, from the fact that we're in Galus, in exile, that is relevant and deeper than the Kosis experience that comes through Mesiras Nefesh. Because the Kosis experience of Mesiras Nefesh, of self-sacrifice, is only an imposition on us. Whereas the Kosis, the shatteredness feeling, is even in the free society, so touches us, who we are in our very essence. This is what he said. Okay, tomorrow you guys are coming to Koilel, right? Or not?
Yeah.
Okay, Tuesday and Wednesday also. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, there's no shear.
We will not be, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we're meeting Tuesday and Wednesday. But,
right.
But
tomorrow and Thursday, B'Tz Hashem. Anyway, I'm going to go now because it's, we changed the clock in America, so we have Minyan is in a few minutes. Yes, what? Moshe.
Is it now a 6-hour difference?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
When are you changing in Eretz Yisrael? Do you know?
A couple weeks, at least. I think 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Before Pesach or after Pesach?
Right.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
we're all
just
speculating.
Okay. Anyway, Dr. Binyamin Hammer, be matzliach in your pursuits, and I can tell you that if you're looking, Bet Shemesh is what?
He speaks Hebrew. He lived in Beit Shemesh. He lived in Beit Shemesh many, many years ago.
I taught high school here in Beit Shemesh 30 years ago.
Oh wow. Wow! So are you really considering coming back, or just a visit?
Well, my daughter is learning here, and so she's thinking about staying or not staying, and so if she stays, my wife and I will buy an apartment here.
What type of physician are you?
So my wife's a physician. She's a dermatologic surgeon, and I am a researcher and professor at the University of North Carolina.
Ah, very nice, very nice.
What area?
Psycholinguistics is my area.
Psycholinguistics.
Okay. No, whatever it is, to have atzlacha and Yiddish Chasidus nachas from your children, and only we should all together prepare ourselves for Purim, because that is the special day. Sei gesund. Yes.
Take care,
Rabbi.
Is that a question, Rabbi?
Yes, Moshe.
Did you touch on the Corona thing at all today?
No, we didn't.
I'm just...
Look at my video. My video's out on cronheights.info. I did a short video, 6 minutes, on the antidote to the coronavirus.
Okay. It's on where's on your site? Or
it's on my YouTube channel, and also there's a site called cronheights.info. But you look it up, Rabbi Dalfin, Corona, I think it'll come up.
Okay, go ahead.
Sei gesund, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.